30.1 days. Wow, it's been a long time. 3.1 days. Okay, so I need to finish this puzzle that I started 3 days ago. How do I finish it? I remember sacrificing the rook, king, and the knight, but don't know. Go. Rook f8, it's wrong. So it's bishop h6, queen takes. Because if it takes, then this is checkmate. If queen takes, okay, you win an exchange. It's only an exchange, but you have a good position. Just trying to start a new one. So I have to play forcing moves because queen h6 and knight f6 is checkmate soon, with the queen and the knight coming in. Queen to f6, queen to h6, and the knight to f6. King h8, queen h7, checkmate. Hi, Nicola Cepeda, if I'm pronouncing that right. I was thinking about playing bishop d4, but after rook takes, c takes, and there's queen h6, king g8, or king h8, there's knight f6, and I don't know what to do after that. Just losing queen h7 is checkmate, I can't stop it. If I play bishop takes f1, I take the rook, then there's queen h6, king h7, king h8, knight f6. And after rook takes f1, I can play bishop d4, but after king h1, I don't see how I can defend. King h1, bishop takes e5, but then queen takes h7 is checkmate. Easy checkmate. How? I don't see the checkmate. I could sacrifice the rook. Rook takes e5. Because if queen h6, there's king h8, knight f6, and then I can play like rook h5 and give the exchange if it's not accepted. So you say Kiyama, queen checks king. Yes, that's if it's white to move, but it's black to move. Wait, I can play queen b2, queen b2, queen b2, queen b2, queen h6, king h8, knight f6. No, I can play bishop takes e5. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's not gonna help. It might just help. Bishop takes, bishop takes e5, knight takes, rook takes, and after f6, f6 there's king h8 because if king g8 there's queen h6 checkmate's forced. I can't stop the mate on g7, so king h8, queen h6, and then rook g8. Okay, I'll go for that. Take, it's wrong. Bishop f1, queen h6, king h8, rook f1, queen t2, trading queens. I didn't see that. Just a simple queen trade. Trade once the rook moves off the file. Okay. And if bishop takes, then what happens after bishop takes? If I play bishop d4, I think you said the rook, knight f6. This is losing. No, I don't think this is this is right. What I did. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's an engineer tempo, ChessTempo. Bishop takes pawn. Yeah, I played bishop takes pawn, but it didn't work. It was a bad move. Wait, I can just like, what can I do? I can play knight e5. I can move my knight here. This piece I can move here. Oh, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to press it immediately. Okay, got it wrong. So I take the pawn first. Just let go of the piece. I don't know why I just did it. So I take the rook on h. I take the pawn on h5. I need to spend more time with these puzzles. I'm blitzing them out. Not even blitzing them. I'm playing bullet. The queen is trapped. The funny thing about it, very funny. I can play rook a1, but after knight c3, I'll be down a rook. So do I take the knight with the rook or the bishop? I take with the rook, and then I trap the queen. Yeah, on the simpler side there. 1 out of 4. Let's go. I can give a 4 king moves and I can pick this pawn up here. Give a fork here on the square and I pick the pawn up here. And it's a fork. Yeah, this looks like I'll pick up an exchange and a pawn. But that means if I pick up the exchange, there'll be a knight and a bishop for a rook. Yeah, seems like a decent exchange. G6, knight f6, and then you pick up the whole rook. But after takes, guess you take the pawn. Well, you can retreat. That's best option. Then you can take your maybe on e6, d6. Sorry. Going for checkmate. Yeah, I should have seen that one. I only spent a minute on it. That's a problem. Give myself 5 minutes of puzzle, but I'm using 1 minute. I can play rook e1, rook e1, rook e1, king g2, bishop e7, bishop c6. Now bishop e7, bishop c6. But I can play knight b4. Where does the rook go? If the rook goes to d6, and bishop e7. But after knight c6, knight c6, that's a different story. So Knight b4, rook d6, bishop f1, king f3. I can play bishop e7, but there's bishop c6. That's a problem. Bishop e7, bishop c6. What can I do? Bishop b7. Muhammad Ehab. Say bishop b7. Hello, hello, Alexander Lachshan. If I'm saying that right, sorry about that. Bishop b7. What about bishop c6? If I play bishop b7, if I move my bishop to b7, what about the bishop going to c6? Yeah, I don't know what to do after bishop c6. So I can play knight b4, rook d6, and then bishop b7, and then after bishop. No, I think it's knight b4, and then bishop b7. Knight b4, but if the rook, where can the rook go? If the rook goes to d6, I play bishop b7. Then if the knight blocks, I can always bring my rook to c1 and I can pin the piece and I win the whole piece. Why it will be killed with his pawn? I don't understand. Put it in b7. No, I don't think it's right. I think it's knight b4. Bishop b7 doesn't make sense. Bishop b7. Okay, I'll look at it again. Bishop b7. What happens after bishop b7? Let's say you play knight c6. Bishop b7. But bishop c6 is my problem. If I take knight takes, I didn't achieve anything. Bishop b7, bishop c6. And they're threatening rook d1, rook d8 check to get out of the pawn. Bishop b7. No, I don't think it's bishop b7. I like knight b4. Just attacking the rook, opening the diagonal. Bishop e7, bishop c6, bishop b7. I understand what you're saying, but you can block it with the knight or the bishop. Yeah, I'm gonna go the knight because it makes sense. If I move like the knight here, okay, I'm wrong. I'm supposed to move the knight here. F4 the knight. Okay, then you play bishop e7, takes and you win the exchange. But what I was thinking, I can't play bishop e7 now because of bishop c6. So I have to play knight e5, attack the bishop, and attack the square on c6. So that when bishop b7 happens, then this c6 square is not a problem. Yeah, that was a difficult one. But I saw knight e5, but I just didn't think about it. Where are you from, dude? I am from Africa. One out of six. Yo, that is bad. One out of six. I want to do four more, just out 10, trying to do 10 puzzles. This one doesn't look difficult. I can play the pawn here on a6. Mauritian. Close. That's close. Wait. No, 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 it's very far. A bit down. A bit down in the continent. I win the exchange here. Not an exchange. Yes. Two pieces for rook. Whoa, bishop a6, bishop a6. Rook c5. No, doesn't work. The answer is probably bishop d3 because if yeah, it seems like the best move, defending e4 and just attacking the queen. South Africa, yes, yes, that's correct. Right at the bottom. Wow, it just started raining now. What are the chances? It's gonna be cold tomorrow. Very cold. Bishop d3 is still my first option. It just seems like a good move. Yes, there we go. Simple. It's just a skewer. Nice to be in your live. Thank you. Thank you for joining. What about one step pawn in f3? No. No, 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 no. That's gonna lose. That loses. You mean If I play f3 here, oh no, this is checkmate. This is checkmate because after knight e2, king h1, knight h. No, never mind. If the rook was like, if this rook was here on h5, it would have been checkmate. But yeah, I think what piece you can win a piece. You can play knight b3 check and you win the rook. But there has to be another option. You can play knight d2 check and you can win the rook. If you play knight here, it's king h1. You can even take here. You can take here and play like bishop e5, but it doesn't work. Three more puzzles. Three more. Trying it 50%. I have 2 out of 7. This is a nice one. I can sacrifice my knight. Knight e4, queen e4, queen b5, king c1, queen f1. If I play, how do I move this? If I move my knight here to e4, then I attack this pawn, and I'm attacking the queen and the king. And if the queen takes here, if the queen takes my knight, if it's on e4, I can always move my queen to b5 check. King moves and I pick up the rook. I can play rook b5, but it doesn't work. Maybe it does. Rook b5 check, king c1, queen a3, king d2. But if I play knight e5, there is bishop d2. Knight e5, bishop d2. This is beautiful. Knight e5, bishop d2, queen b5, queen b5, rook b5. If king c1, there's rook b1 check, rook b1. I mean king b1, and knight takes d2, king c1, knight f1, and you win the rook. You up a knight. You win. You up a piece in this position. But yeah, this is a nice move. Knight e5, and you just win the piece here, the rook. Nice, nice. 2 minutes to that one. I got 3 out of 8. I need 2 more right, and I have 50%. Yeah, that was a nice puzzle. It's difficult this one because I can play c4, but there's king d4. If the king goes to e6, rook e7 is checkmate. So c4, king d4, bishop c5, king takes e5. If I play rook e7 check, then the king goes to f6. I can play f6. I can play f6, and also if you check me with rook f2, I play king e1. Very important, king e1, attacking the rook with the threat of e takes f7, followed by f8 equals queen. And if you take my pawn, then I take the rook. So if I play e6, rook f2, king e1, rook g2, then I can play e takes f7 and I promote. Okay. And if e6, king takes d6, I have I take on f7, king takes e takes f7, king takes c7, f8 equals queen, and that is enough material to win. It's more than enough to win. So let's do it. Oh, it doesn't work. c4, king d4, then e6. Okay. Because the king's too far. Yeah, that makes sense. So you have to like push the king away. Push the king away. Okay. So what I thought was if e6 you can take, it takes here and you can't stop promotion. I thought this would be enough for the win. You could have this position on the board. There's no blockade. There's enough pawns on the board. There's no fortress. But here you could even take the pawn, because if you take, you're just winning. You have a piece. I can leave my bishop here and go for this pawn. So that's what I thought. But it seems there's a better option. Let me see what the comments say. Okay, so they're saying that queen versus bishop and rook is much more difficult than this position that's on the board, being upper rook, which is understandable. So you have to play c4, get the king away, and make your life easier. King e3. Oh, king e3 instead of sacrificing the rook. That doesn't work because king e3 then rook check. You mean here, king e3? Then there's bishop c5 and you pick up the rook for free. Let's say the king moves, you just pick up the rook for free. Okay, my last puzzle. So I see knight d4, moving my knight to d4, forking the queen and the bishop, but there is queen d7. I can sack my rook e6, but after queen e6, I can play knight d4, queen d7, rook e6, rook e6, queen g4, rook h8, or even rook e8. Not simple. Knight d4, queen d7, c6, pawn takes, there's queen a4, king b7. So I would go knight d4, queen d7, c6, queen a4, king b7, and I don't know what to do. B4, knight b3, knight c5 would be my positional approach, but this is not a positional puzzle. I prefer positional chess. But I'll go for it. Knight d4, c6, and if not, queen e2. Uh, just a double attack. Yeah, just a simple double attack. Pick up the piece. I was busy thinking. I was focused on one side of the board. I was like, yeah, king b7, play b4. But there's even this. Yeah, there's even c5 sacrificing. But I thought for example, sorry, I can play knight b3, I can play knight c5, knight a5. Some positional strategy in the game. But this is not positional, it's tactics. Yeah. Okay. 3 out of 10. It's a good score. That's a pass. 30% is a pass. But okay, that's enough for today. Okay, I'm calling it today. Goodbye, everyone.